Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? And for those of you that are in Instagram, I am Dr. Yasmilde from Equilibrium. And like every week, we come at least once to have a chat about something that brings clarity to our human processes, right? Just to put it lovingly. And today, we are going to talk about being decisive versus being hesitant. And when we think about being decisive, it's all about making decisions, it's about finding solutions. And that usually implies moving, right? Might be not forward all the time, but moving. Just something is happening, right? Um, and things seem like you feel like things are um, happening for you, that things are changing, and there is movement and momentum in the way you're living, right? Versus being hesitant. And when we are in that pattern, then we're usually slow in acting or speaking. We usually associate that with being unsure, and because of it, as a result, there is usually no solution being gathered, or no movement or change happening in whatever it is that you guys are, thinking about on or working on. The thing is that we appreciate both in a very partial way. For most of us, being decisive is a good thing, and being hesitant isn't, except if you are planted right on in the hesitant label, right? But the thing is that looking deeper than the superficial perception that we have inherited from our society, then I realize, and this is my opinion from my own personal experience and that of working with most of our clients, is that they are none of the two, good or bad, on themselves. They are both could be called for, depending on the circumstances and the place you're at or the subject that we're talking about. Or there can always be a reflection of deeper issues or things that are moving us to behave in one way or the other one. And for example, how do we approach that, or how do I approach that? Am I being decisive from a place of inner peace and confidence, or from a place of disconnection or no thinking, right? Like sometimes we say it that way, just without thinking, move without thinking, right? It could also be from a place of fear and avoidance. And in this case, you might be avoiding that you are being looked down by somebody that is needing you to make a decision, right? And you're being rushed into making the decision, or you're doing because right away you want to belong. You want to feel that you are going with the status quo or the movement of a group of people, right? So, and let's put it all that together. Are we being decisive from a place of inner peace and confidence, or a place of conforming or fear or avoidance, and also disconnection from ourselves? In the case of hesitating, are you being hesitant from a place of fear and self doubt, or from a place of I'm integrating knowledge and being patient with my own process? Do you see how both of them can be taken from, can happen? Both patterns can happen from totally different spaces of mind, or states of mind. Both of them, at the end, so at the bottom of it, the actual relevant thing is not the label that we are putting in our to our behavior, but actually the hidden triggers behind why is it that we are going with one or the other one. And all of those are usually contained in our subconscious, and our subconscious rule our lives. You might have heard me say this before, just only, and this is an estimate, by the way, but only 5% of our mental processes, decisions, are conscious. The rest are subconscious. Thus, that is where most of our cross purposes live. And what I mean by that is, consciously, we might know that not eating pizza every day is a good thing for us. Subconsciously, maybe we associated when we were very young eating pizza with being rewarded. And if we are now anxious and worried about something, then our subconscious is telling us, yeah, pizza is going to be the solution, because it's going to bring the emotion that we need to balance what we're feeling right now. So you see what I mean? This is all behind the fact that when we face ourselves with a decision to be made, with a change that we need to be a part of, there is a lot that comes into place, and behind the way that we approach the thing. With some things, we feel more comfortable. That's the other layer of complexity here. For some things, we are not the exact same for everything in our lives, every aspect of our lives. It's not, we usually don't exhibit the same patterns of behavior when it has to do with our career or with our relationship, romantic ones or otherwise, with our finances. And that one is a good one, because we have been bombarded since we were little about the needs of saving money, of being cautious, of most of us, by the way. And that leads us to behave with our finances from fear, of losing it, of not being secure, of losing a certain level of stability. And all of those things come and color the way we make decisions with our money. So all of you, but then maybe you are pretty, trigger happy when it comes to relationships, and very self-assertive. The thing, because of that, why does that happen, is because the beliefs, the fears, the doubts, the stories that we have programmed or imprinted in our subconscious are different from everything. They are many and diverse. Like, we're talking 95% of our processes, mental processes, come from our subconscious. And that is why that's why I mean by they rule our behavior. They will color. Look, this is how many times did I hear when I was a child that, oh, are you looking through a pink glass to what you are, experiencing? Or you're blind when you are in love. Those things, like, meaning that your beliefs or your perceptions of something are going to be filtered by the beliefs you have on regarding the thing that you're experiencing, right? In the case of the examples, the person that you're falling in love with, or the things that you're experiencing in specific circumstances. All of those things are going to determine how assertive we are when we are making a decision about something. If we add to that fears that are pretty much innate, because let's face it, fear was part of our evolution, and it helped us get to where we got as a species, because it was fear what kept us alert, and then therefore allowed us to survive a bunch of things. right? Just animal attacks or wars or something else, the weather thing, right? So it could lead us to take action into something that would allow us to survive. So, evolutionary speaking, fear had a huge role to play. We didn't drop it though. So, there are certain fears that are actually innate because it was part of our evolution, just such as the fear of dying or the fear of not being protected, the fear of not belonging, because it was as part of a community that we actually survived. So if anything that we are faced by in order to make a decision is going to challenge that fear for us, which by the way, we associated to different things. All of us, each one of us is different. Um, so if that fear gets challenged, then our pattern of behavior is going to be different than if it isn't. And because of that, so again, we go back to behind the pattern of behavior is what we have in our subconscious. So then what is the thing that could allow you to tap into who you really are, into not acting, it doesn't matter if it is decisively or hesitantly towards something, is going to be tapping into your subconscious. Is going to be discovering what is it in my subconscious that is holding me back from becoming the person that I truly are. And all of this is where, when we go there, when we do the work at that level, is when we start going inward, right? Then we could we could need to be fully present in whichever of the two decision making labels we could have, we could express. It doesn't matter if it could be decisive because we make a decision right away, or hesitantly from the point of view of slowing and taking our time to making such decision. Then both, whichever is called for or needed, could come from a place where we are fully connected with who we really are, respecting our own rhythms, knowing from our inner wisdom what is it that it is good for us, you, not a bunch of people, and what isn't. What makes you feel good? What is in alignment with your purpose, your mission, or with the person that you are meant to become? When we make decisions or wait on them from that place of full connection with ourselves, then we live in flow. But then, how do we get there? How does that happen? Because we have probably, if you have been called to watch this video, you probably have heard before about working on your limiting beliefs or shifting your mentality or the paradigm that you have from yourself or the world. Letting go of your fears, or becoming confident and not doubt yourself so much. The thing is, these things go deep into your subconscious. And a lot of times we have noticed that there are aspects of how to do that are not really either done or respected by a lot of the approaches that we've seen out there. So if you are curious at all about what have been missing, why is it that sometimes you shift something only to find out that is coming back to you at some point? If you're curious at all about how is it, what categories of these subconscious limitations exist, and how to access them, and what's the three full step cycle that we should go through in order to shift them and still be in alignment or discover who we really are, then come and join us this next Wednesday, May the 3rd at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to have a masterclass that we call The Secret to Crushing Your Subconscious Limitations, and you are all invited. We are going to drop the sign up link. Actually, Instagram is on our bio, but for those of you watching us in any other platforms, we are going to share the sign up there. It's a free hour with us, which, let's face it, we're pretty, lively. And at least you're going to have a couple of laughs. But at most, you are going to have a couple of aha moments that might help you understand how your subconscious is working, and what you can do to put it to your service instead of having it as a block, or the thing that is holding you back from your full potential. So what do you say? See you Wednesday. That could be, sorry, is Tuesday, May 3rd at 5:30 p.m. Love you all to pieces. Have an amazing week and see you then. Mwah.